What happened to the black sheep of your family? Growing up, we always had this mystery cousin Jeffrey who nobody talked about. I remember being maybe 10 years old at Thanksgiving when my uncle got a little drunk and started saying something about Jeffrey being the real victim, and my grandma literally slammed her hand on the table and told him to shut up. That's how taboo Jeffrey was in our family. For years, I just accepted that Jeffrey was this mythical black sheep who did something so terrible that he basically got erased from the family. I'd overhear snippets like he betrayed us or after what he did to Samuel, but never the full story. My mom would just say he made bad choices and we shouldn't end up like him. Fast forward to last summer when my grandma had a minor fall. She's fine, DW, but it scared all of us enough that we decided someone should stay with her for a while. I volunteered since I was between leases anyway, so I'm helping her organize some stuff in her spare bedroom, and I find this photo album I've never seen before. Not hidden or anything dramatic, just on a shelf with a bunch of other random crap. I start flipping through it and there's this guy in tons of photos with my mom and her siblings when they were teenagers. He looked maybe a little older than them and nobody ever mentioned him to me. I asked my grandma who he was and she got this weird look on her face and was like, "That's your cousin Jeffrey," super quietly, like she didn't even want to say his name out loud. Then she took the album from me and said we should finish cleaning another day. I couldn't stop thinking about it TBH. Like, why was this dude in all these family photos if he was so terrible? He looked normal, always smiling, arm around my mom in some pics. Not like some evil person. So I started asking questions. Big mistake apparently. My mom completely shut down when I asked, told me it wasn't my business, and to respect my grandma's feelings. My dad claimed he didn't know much, but I could tell he was lying. None of my aunts or uncles would talk except for my Aunt Valentina, who was always the family rebel. Valentina agreed to meet me for lunch, but made me promise not to tell anyone we talked. According to Valentina, Jeffrey wasn't actually a bad person at all. He was my mom's cousin, and he lived with my grandparents for a few years as a teenager because his parents had died. Valentina said Jeffrey was super smart and went to college on a full scholarship, which was a big deal for our family back then. The way she described him was completely different from the family villain I'd imagined. She said he was funny and kind, always standing up for her when my grandfather was being strict. She actually started crying when she talked about him, saying she missed him every day and it wasn't fair what happened. When I asked what actually happened, why he was cast out, she got all panicky and said she shouldn't have met me. She literally threw money on the table for her food and left. Just walked out mid-conversation. I tried calling her later but she didn't pick up, then texted me saying she was sorry but couldn't talk about it anymore. Obviously this made me even more curious. I did some hardcore internet stalking, and eventually found a Jeffrey who matched the right age and hometown on social media. I wasn't 100% sure it was him, but the guy had the same smile from those old photos. I debated for like 2 weeks before sending him a message. Super casual, just asking if he was related to my family. He responded the same day, asked which branch of the family I was from, and when I told him, he immediately wanted to video chat. I was kinda scared but also dying to know what happened, so I agreed. The moment we connected, I knew it was him. Older version of the guy in those photos, same eyes as my mom, definitely family. He looked so emotional seeing me, said I looked just like my mom when she was young. Jeffrey asked a ton of questions about everyone, like he was genuinely interested in how they were doing despite everything. When I finally asked why everyone pretended he didn't exist, he got really quiet. He asked if I really wanted to know, said it might change how I see my entire family. I said yes. The story he told me was nothing like I expected. Turns out my grandfather Samuel, who everyone talks about like he was a saint, had been stealing money from a family business he ran with Jeffrey's dad, his brother. When Jeffrey's parents died in that car accident, Samuel took control of everything. Jeffrey had found paperwork proving that Samuel had been embezzling money for years, even from his dead brother's estate that was supposed to go to Jeffrey. When Jeffrey confronted him, showing evidence to the whole family, Samuel convinced everyone that Jeffrey was lying to get more inheritance money. The family sided with Samuel, all except Valentina, who was too young to have any say. They forced Jeffrey to sign away his rights to anything from his parents' estate in exchange for his college tuition. After college, they told him never to contact the family again.